this a little old school. I'm gonna talk to you for a few minutes about what I would like to see, which is language learning games, and then hopefully give you a chance to demo a prototype that I designed and we built at Startup Weekend about a month back. You guys know Scott Klinger? He's the guy who hacked up the prototype. And I just have a little bit of time, so I'm going to run through this. It should be okay. I assume I'm preaching to the choir when I say games are good for language learning. Is that safe to say? So, my name is Josh Wilson. I have a indie game studio / expensive hobby called Animation Studio. I put out an iPhone game a while back. I did design. I'm not a technical person. I come from a language background. I'm new to this game design stuff. And I'm going to talk a little bit about games for language learning and game design. So when I'm talking about games, mostly I'm talking about Sid Meier's ideas, a series of interesting decisions is what constitutes a game. I would add to that maybe a little competitive pressure to differentiate games from, say, role playing, things like that. And what I want to talk about is why games are really good for learning and how we can utilize that to build games for language learning. Raph Koster says we love games because games let us achieve mastery. You know, mastery is something that's really difficult to find in the real world. The reason we love games is they allow us to achieve mastery. The way they do that is by being the ultimate learning platform. Any game that you play as a novice when you start. If you enjoy the game, you end it as a master. That is what games do. All the other stuff about games, that's aside from that. The core part of a game is that sense of achieving mastery. And what I really would like to see happen is to utilize this power. Let's see. So, how does it work? You might know already about the zone of proximal development. This is a Vygotskian framework to talk about the best time and the best place to learn. So there's me. Here are the things I can do. Right? And here are the things that I can't do. And the zone of proximal development is this sweet spot right here in the middle. It's that stuff I can do with a little bit of help. Can't really do it right now, but if you give me a chance, I can do it. And this is exactly where a good game exists. This is where all of the good games exist. This is what a game is. So what does the zone of proximal development look like? It looks like this. You guys know Spelunky?
Yeah.
He is in the zone of proximal development. You can see him fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. There are 101 fails in this clip. I won't show them all to you. But if you know this, you've been in that place, that desire to do it again. Because to achieve that mastery, that process that we're going through is all those endorphins through our blood. Right, so. Well, there's 101 of them. You don't want to watch them all. The worst place you could ever learn anything is school. The hardest place to learn anything. We're watching a couple of students fail epically in Spanish. And probably in this room we are model language learners. Probably all pretty good learning languages. I know a lot of us are trilingual even. I am 1.5 lingual, as my wife likes to say. Failure is real in this environment, and that is the wrong place to learn anything. The costs are high. The social costs of failure are high. These guys aren't even paying attention over. This is the wrong place to learn. Learning does not occur here. There's something to be said for the performance aspect of it, but that's not learning. That's a little bit different. Where does learning occur? Learning occurs right here. This is what learning looks like. this is grade, and this is the optimal place to learn. Why? Because we learn through failure. And you know the proverb, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. We look at this and we see fail, 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 win! And that's what learning looks like, right there. And anything that you've learned in your life, even if you learned it maybe later on in school, you appreciated it, and you really learned it in that context, in a fail-safe environment. And that's what video games are bringing to learning. So let's come back up here. Here's the trouble with language learning as it is today in school. Here is the Spanish that I know and fun things that I can do. And in between those two things, it looks like a small space, but it's a huge gulf. The problem is, beginning language learners have nothing to do with what they've learned. They have no authentic use for that. They have no way to actually use that language. In Japan, they spend 6 years in junior high school and high school, and they get nothing out of it. After 6 years, they still have no use for that language. Imagine if you were playing soccer and you studied soccer for 6 years before you could even use it. Right? Well, what video games offer is they offer you the ability to use any language you know in an authentic way. Right? Take a right. Hey, get those coins. Jump over that gap. Hurry up. Hey, jump over the pillar. Go up the stairs. Get those coins. Get that gem. There's no reason that we're not playing this game with language as the mechanic. There's no reason that I am not playing a game like this and having my language skills be the mechanic. The ability to either follow directions or give directions to the game. Right? You only need to know 25, maybe 50 words of English to play that. Any first-year student of any language could be playing this game as a language learning tool and having a great time. All right, so where are they? Where are all these language learning games? Where are they all? They're out there. There are some. There's Bot Colony. This is coming along. It's still in beta. It's been in closed beta since January. I still can't get my game to run. If it does run, it's going to be fantastic because if it works like the demo, you can actually have intelligent conversations with the AI. It at least looks amazing in the demo video, but that's a ways off. Trace Effects was put out by the U.S. State Department this year. It's a diplomatic tool. It's a diplomatic tool, and I would have to say it's maybe one of the better ideas they've had.
That's doing it diplomatically.
Yes. Not exactly a game, unfortunately. It's a serious game. It's heavy on the education and the propaganda. And light on game mechanics. There's no shooting. There's nothing like that. But it's paving the way for future games. It's proving, hopefully, to educators and administrators that there is a place for games. And then Xenos Isle, this is coming out of the Learning Games Network in Boston, and just maybe 6 months ago they signed on Filament Games, which is a really big, serious learning game studio. They actually do things right. And this is going to be a portal for developers to create language learning games. Hopefully it's going to be good. But these are all big games, and they've used a huge amount of investment. There's a lot of backing for these things. None of these are cheap and easy. And that's really what I'm confused about. I guess that's the question I have for you is, why aren't we making cheap and easy language learning games? Why aren't we making these apps? There is a market for them. Here's the iPhone Japan education app page. Top grossing apps are all English learning apps. Every single one of them. There is a huge interest in using our mobile devices to learn English. All of these suck. Every single, unless you like quizzes. If you like quizzes, they're good. But none of these things have any sort of intrinsic value. And if you aren't already motivated enough to be the kind of person who would be carrying around a big thick TOEFL or TOEIC to learn English, you're not going to find any enjoyment here. And that's really what I would like to understand. Why is it that there aren't more people out here in this space? Number one, I suppose, and this is my ideas, I'm hoping I can talk to you guys about it afterwards. I know it's hard. It's hard to make games. It's exponentially hard to make games with another mechanic, and that mechanic is language. When you have to consider things like leveling, does the game level up, or are you leveling up the language? That's really difficult. Educators are not developers. Educators generally suck at making games. And developers have a hard time dealing with educators because we come at it across interests, right? Although I think as the industry matures, as you guys know, we're finding lots of people with lots of different backgrounds getting involved. So hopefully that's changing as well. Personally, I think the other problem is that we're overthinking it. And that's what I want to show you today is a really, really, really simple solution. And that's what we can do. Up, there we go. Oop, I guess we're not going to get any text on there. What I'd like to show you is a very, very simple idea. I'm going to have to reboot this, I think. And that is using the game not as a teaching tool. And we have to sort of divorce ourselves from that concept. We have to forget about the game as a teaching tool. Because no other games would be considered teaching tools. There are things in which events happen. People do things. People have fun. Right? And if we forget about the idea of a teaching tool and we see the game as a game in which language happens to be a mechanic, language happens to be a skill that you're using in order to win the game, then we can create the kind of fun games that are going to satisfy the need for fun and engagement while also providing a learning experience. So this is a very simple prototype. And I'm going to play with Evan here. And the way this works is we're both playing the same game. We are the employees of the Crazy Cafe. I am the cook, and I am over here in the kitchen. And Evan is the waiter. Evan is serving the customers. And the way the game works is we have directions up on the top that we have to give to each other. And then we have to perform those actions on our screen.
Should I start? Yeah.
Yep. So you're going to be the waiter.
Yeah. Okay, I need a spicy pizza.
Spicy pizza coming up.
I need some spicy sushi.
Some spicy sushi, I got it. The pizza's ready for Mrs. Yellow, and the sushi's ready for Mr. Red.
Okay, I need some sour ice cream.
Sour ice cream coming up.
Wait, who's the sushi for?
The sushi is for Mr. Red.
Okay.
And there's ice cream ready for Mrs. Yellow.
Okay, I need some sweet sushi.
And some sweet sushi, okay, coming up.
And I need a cold salad.
Cold salad, all right.
I need some sweet ice cream.
Is that sweet?
Sweet.
Sweet ice cream.
And I need some cold ice cream. And I need a sweet hamburger.
The sushi's ready for Mrs. Blue, the salad is ready for Mr. Blue, and Mrs. Yellow needs some ice cream. And I forgot the hamburger. It's
I need a sweet hamburger.
A sweet
Hamburger. It's red, it's red.
Oh no!
Alright.
Oh, hurry up! Oh, our customers are
Okay,
waiting.
spicy salad is red. Sweet pizza.
Sweet, oh, sorry, I said ice cream. Oh, and all our
You need to
customers.
study more English.
So like I said, Scott Klinger was able to prototype that. I'm looking for help with this or any other game-related idea you would like to work on. I would love to make some games for language learning. Just so happens that Samsung's Smart App Challenge this year is using the Chord SDK, which is exactly the same thing we're doing right here. If anybody happens to know how to work in Android and do some programming, I would really like to enter in this contest. Please talk to me afterwards. I believe my time is up. Thank you very much.